Right, okay, let's get this one on here. MCC Division. Flipping the coin, checking the coin, and of course keeping the coin. One has to get paid for this eventually, don't they? So here you are. It's all down to week 13 in the MCC Division here. It's actually been quite the little battle going on here. But what hasn't been a fight is, of course, not one but two Chorf teams in the MCC Division, and it's just been a absolute delight watching them, well, quite frankly, grind their opponents into itty-bitty little pieces and then bury them alive. This is Blood Bowl, this happens a lot. And speaking of, being buried alive, oh, look, it's a Khemri team. Well, don't worry, they've gotten back up. I sense they've gotten better. So, let's see who we've got here. Khemri, marching in. They've got the good, solid set of not one, not two, not three. They've got the 4 Tomb Guardians. They've even brought in, yeah, you saw it right there, Hakim slash, yes, he's the undead, so of course he is a strength 3 chainsaw, and yes, you see that right, he's got sidestep. Sidestep. Like that comes in handy, but you know what, he's there, but it does give him a wee bit of bloat, doesn't it? Now, Chorfs, of course, they do have the spare reserve player. Meanwhile, over the other side, well, maybe not quite so as much. Let's get this one started in here. Kick-off return. Absolutely great skill choice. And, well, there you go. Extra reroll for the Pastoral Sympathy. Not that he actually bloody needs it. So, Khemri, trying to get the offense at least somewhat started. And as you can see there by the reveal, it is quite the crazy choice of skills and life choices among everything else. Tuning it back down, you can see here the Chorfs have got an impressive amount of guard, blodge, break tackle, and pretty much break your fist when you try to punch the bastard down. So that's only a stun. And here you go. Advancing forward, Khemri have decided, they'd like to knock the poor lad down. Then he goes. Good, that's sort of the excuse of a dwarf. Should rethink his life choices. Advancing up, that's a brave move there, considering just how much God's in this team here. And absolutely no surprise. There's the foul. It's in. And there's a KO. He'll take it.
Resilient bastards.
Unfortunately, Constable Ed has decided he sees it. But you know what? Like I said, it's anniversary week for his wife. So he's collecting quite the extensive amount of bribes. Well, that's one bribe gone. He's got nothing else left. Meanwhile, Pastoral Sympathy, well, as you can see, sympathy. What sympathy do I have for them? Absolutely great. There he goes. Didn't need him much longer.
To a doctor to find such a cold, clinical way of saying I'm a dead man walking.
Well, what do you expect? You don't have blodge. He regenerates, of course. Fat lot of good that doesn't, but he's off the pitch. Has he achieved his objective? Well, it's a KO. Maybe it stays out, but really, if it needs to be an injury, especially when it's one of the bloody dwarves. And turning this around here, you can see just what's going to start happening now. This is where the Chaos Dwarves, on a rare occasion, can now exploit the massive maneuverability the team actually has got. Not just the Hobgoblins moving 6, which quite frankly outruns the Khemri team, but frankly, they're almost a movement 9. Bull Centaur, Strength 4, massive skills. The Khemri are going to have to just start smashing that all through. But that's rather difficult, isn't it? So both sides, down a player. Khemri, of course, packing not 1, not 2, but 3 reserves, and of course the extra star player. Has he done his job? We'll see how the game actually carries out. Maybe that dwarf stays out. Maybe he stays in. Slowly they advance. You can hear the excitement when I'm watching a Khemri team. I swear the game's 3 times as long. Well, he rolls into a double skull. Has to re-roll that one here. And now he starts sticking the Tomb Guardians in to do what they really need to be doing, which I hate to admit it is basically interdicting the dwarves. If you can keep the dwarves out of action, the rest of your team probably can deal with, well, quite frankly, the Ab-Goblins and find a way to deal with the Bull Centaurs. But as long as these little buggers are available, well, that double skull, followed by a good solid punch. There's a nice hit. Very nice hit.
I alone remain to bring delivery of your pain.
Thank you, Vincent. That's how he's priceless. Regeneration. You've heard on this cast here, my absolutely sucking favourite skill is such a complete wazoo failure when it really starts failing. So now he's stuck with a niggling injury. Great. It's a double-skilled player with a niggling injury, armor 7. How long he's going to last in that team will remain to know. Fortunately, should be back for the playoffs. And here's the key thing to admit. Stunningly good coach. Not just in looks, though I've heard rumours. Explains why every time he's at the brothel, he tells them bring friends. But the coach can manage quite the team. And this is just the draw he just did not want to have. Good solid punch there. And the dwarves, frighteningly, are really truly getting to work. No, he stunned him. That's crazy.
No hard feelings.
Khemri have now had to readjust the entire strategy here. They're pretty much committed. They're having to go this side. Solid punch down. Unfortunately, no break in. You can tell he's pretty disappointed on that result. It's the problem here you usually have with Tomb Guardians. Unlike the mummies, yes, they're more maneuverable, but you're dealing with the humble fact that they've all got decay and they do not start with Mighty Blow. So it does cause a wee bit of a problem. But the movement 4, in theory, it's better maneuverability. But how far is that going to carry you? Reroll, well, there's another one. Solid hit into the dwarf, but again, Ellie is rewarded with a stun. See, that's everyone's usual complaint. It takes you so much effort breaking the armor of the bloody dwarves. By then, you got nothing left. Well, here it comes. It's a blitzing to get on the ball carrier. Down goes the lad, and he's definitely got the ball carrier well and truly pinned. And he's got another one. That's brutal. That's absolutely brutal. Crazy.
Gotcha.
Crazy indeed. Well, regeneration finally does do its job. Well, as you can see there, he's now 1 for 2. Well, it's 50-50. That's about the best you can hope for. And here's where his problems really start. These dwarves are still alive. And also the sheer amount of God he's got on the field. Gets away with the dodge, and it's a good move. He's got the Tomb Guardian nicely pinned down. Alright. So how's the Khemri going to deal with this problem? Well, he's got to force a hold because dodging's just not an option when you're Khemri. And of course, he has to re-roll that one. And he's rewarded with, unfortunately, yet another useless stun. Yes, he achieves objective, the players down, but frankly, from this guy's viewpoint, he needs to start getting players off the pitch. And thanks to the 1 and 9, he's had to spend the reroll. On the 1 go for it, easily fails, sadly. And now this is the moment the Chorfs have been waiting for. And here it comes. Quick reroll, gets the second follow-up. Ball carrier's down. And let's face it, it's a fantastic bounce there for the Chaos Dwarves because the ball's still in play. You hate to admit it, if you're the Khemri team, you really would have liked it thrown out there somewhere. Because of all things, you had a not bad chance of getting to it first, thanks to, you got it, those crazy Hobgoblin stuns and where the other players are positioned. Back down the field. Chorfs are just basically running away here. And now it's the Blitz to go steal the ball. It's a push away. He's more than happy with that one. And he's even got the ball for a bonus. And now he tucks himself in here. And he's going to wait for the rest of his team to, well, plough the road. Khemri hates to admit it here, but he's getting lucky. It's just push me, push you. But if you've been doing the numbers, he's down 3 players this drive. The Tomb Guardians, from his viewpoint, really need to stop producing. And as mentioned, that's just not happening yet. Here we go. Heroic 2-die block. Of course it fails. And he gets sweep buck all. Second try. And once again, it achieves 2/3 or 4/5 of fuck shit. There's a solid punch. But is he delighted with the result? Like Ellie is. And now he's even debating, shouldn't he have followed in? His thought is now he's got to try and keep these players somewhat under control. Block on block. Frustration does continue here. For the Khemri team, he's getting solid armor blocks. But except for the foul, that's been it. It's just a bunch of stuns. And we're even talking about good solid blocks and it's uneven hobgoblins more than anything else. He needs something to truly break. And by break, he'll even take a KO at this point. Well, there he goes, and he's away.
You should have turned left before. It's funny, actually, when you...
Yes, we know, we know. And the Chorfs are getting away with it. And you look at the skills he had up there. It's not a bad choice, but he does get away using the dodge as his reroll. Khemri team, again, solid punch cannot get a result. Does get the solid hit, takes the dwarf down, and advances up to try and cover things here. And there you go, it's a good solid play. He's going to force the Hobgoblin to have to go somewhere bloody else. And now you can see how crazy the play is. Yeah, you just saw that right there. Khemri just made a dodge. This is what happens when a game starts doing a wee bit of crazy tilting. But not in the most noticeable of ways here. Meanwhile, the Chorfs at complete exploitation are just going to keep hammering away until, well, they actually get the ball carrier free. From their viewpoint here, they denied the score. Well, maybe, maybe not, but 2 more turns. Now, rerolls, Khemri are running out of turns. Also note, when you're on turn 6, you still have both the rerolls. That tells you how good your game's actually going here. There he goes. Well, ball's free. Wonderful.
Fine mess you've made of things again.
And, well, there you go. Suddenly, Khemri, like I said, it's not over yet until the fat dwarf dies. Are finding themselves right back solidly into this game. Ball is solidly covered up. Ah, sorry. Oh dear. Great. Just great.
Oh, yes. There will be blood.
Dose regeneration? Nope, of course not. What was I thinking? It was time for him to fail yet another regeneration at this rate because reasons. No, really, there's a list of reasons. I've been told. Why would the Chaos Dwarf coach lie to me? He never lies to me. That's £5, right? Anyway. Maybe not scoring. Keywords, maybe not. Trusting this coach here, he might actually still find a way to try and score this thing. He's trying to figure out a way of doing it. So far, it's not cooperating. And you can see he uses a reroll. It's still not cooperating. From his viewpoint here, has he achieved his objective? Well, he quite frankly has it. He's cleared 4 Khemri players off the pitch. And he has prevented the score. At this point here, the Khemri's going to have to call in every reserve. 2 dice uphill. As you can see, of course he gets away with it because, yeah, of course he's going to get away with it. That's becoming one of those days, isn't it? Khemri, of course, would still like to score this one up, but what are the odds they can? It looks like it's pretty much done unless they do something absolutely crazy. And crazy right now, while it might be driving the bus, is still having time, trying to tell Panda that yes, he can actually win a game. You gotta love Panda. He does talk to Crazy awful lot. Khemri, solid hits, solid punches, and still doesn't achieve anything. The Chorfs, of course, just swinging away. Because once again, well, they've got nothing better to do. They might as well take a couple more swings, see what happens. Because looking at so far how the results are, well, you can always go for another casualty. And there's a good solid hit, and this is where you always cringe. Tomb Guardians, of course, well known for the problem that they do have. Well, that little thing called decay. Decay is a nasty habit of one that injured. Great, you roll twice. It's not just a Nurgle problem. It's definitely a very real problem, and that is an injury he could not afford. Sigh.
But I refuse to die.
Well, that might be true, and there he is, getting back up. Nicely timed, lad, nicely timed. So that spares somewhat a pretty crippling game, yeah. As seen here, unfortunately, the Dwarf does come back. And now the Khemri, fortunately, are fielding a complete team. What? You're sending him off, but he didn't really do anything. It was only a Dwarf. Not like it's a real person or anything deserving rights. Sigh. Oh, well. You try and argue that with a bloody commissioner, considering the commissioner himself is a dwarf. No, not that one. The great Roselle, the one who actually, rules the entire NATTS Federation. Because he's the only one who can read the sucking book. And yes, I know it's subject to interpretation, because, well, dwarves. Of course, the dwarves assure me they've been absolutely and completely honourable and haven't lied many times when it comes to the interpretation of the rules. Yeah, and you believe that? Yeah, I believe an elf is a generous, caring, cream of, goodness. You all know it's just like Avlings, a bunch of scum-sucking freaks. Now remember, if you're an evil overlord, as it says in the rules, if you ever spot anything that's small, short, and inconspicuous, kill them all immediately. Well, there we go. Free reroll for the team that doesn't need it. The Chorfs once again have it. Now, admittedly, they do have the fame. That's a little hard to argue in there. But at this point, now life is going to get interesting. And there they go again. Sigh. This is going to get brutal, isn't it?
Dr. Gordon, this is your wake-up call.
Well, yeah, and there you go. Another failed regeneration. Now, according to the count, that is now 3 for 4 failed. And he gets another one. This is just going to get worse. Just worse. That's a scary dwarf. Oh, look, that one actually worked. And according to the regeneration count on the board, that's now, 2 for 5. It's only a KO. You're defective, dwarf. You must be fired.
Unbelievable. You
Subject name here.
must be the pride of.
Subject hometown here.
Unbelievable. You.
Well, it is unbelievable. It's only a KO, according to the dwarf coach. And it just continues. Well, that's just wrong, isn't it? Alright, I admit it, I shouldn't be laughing so hard at that one. When you look at the rolls, though, it's staggering in the extreme. Like, yes, admittedly, looking at it here, he's got 2 people in one blow. But going 3 injuries and a KO on a straight 4 hits, that's enough time to just, flip the keyboard, flip the computer, and, well, go and get snucking drunk. I would not blame the coach at this point. Because just a second ago you had 11 players. You now have 7 and you haven't done anything yet. Alright, Nuffle. Have you got anything useful to say for yourself other than that you're a cunt? Well, I'll say it for you, don't worry there. Anyway, back to the game. Oh, wait, yes, there's a game going on. It's not just another, meet me fist. The series. Now, here's the thing. Can he stop this drive? Well, unfortunately, I would bluntly at this point predict no. Why? Well, you're out 4 players, and now, quite frankly, you've still got 4 Tomb Guardians, but they're not exactly going to be chasing them down. Quite frankly, if you need the Chaos Dwarves, you can make a long march of it, or you can just score it and actually go for a score fest. It's your choice. It's not a bad choice, but let's see how he actually decides to play this one. As mentioned here, at the beginning of the cast, Chorfs at this point here are pretty much a shoe-in the division here to qualify for the big final 16. As, well, let's face it, except for the other Chorf, do you want me to say it bluntly? They just, nothing's just been able to face down to them. Not from lack of trying, but it's just not happening. Chorfs continue the brutal frontline punishment, and finally something decides not to break for a change. So this is now actually becoming quite the routine little game here for the Chorfs from their viewpoint of what's routine. Ah, that's a pretty skinny thought, isn't it? Ah, there you go, rewarded with double skulls because Nuffle hasn't finished teabagging you on the forehead yet, has he? You feel that soppy, sloppy, wet thing on your forehead there, Finhell? That's Nuffle. No, you don't want to know. What you do now, and you're all the better for it. No, not really, actually. Make sure you get that washed, lad. Anyway, continuing on here. They're going to just keep on punishing away, trying to do something. Because, well, they'd like to actually break something and actually achieve something. But as noted in the first half, that just wasn't happening. And when that's not happening, it's like the old saying goes. You can play flawlessly, still lose. Why? Dice game. And you sometimes have that, and that's why, let's face it, this game can be so rage-inducing, because you do everything right, and you still... Nothing decides, no, not really today. Alright, so here's my observation here. The Khemri, as crazy as it sounds, might be getting a bit lucky. Yes, I heard that derisive laughter from you, cadet. Shut up. No, really, they're getting lucky because look at all this, but who it's not hurting. You. Right, that was awful. That's it. Get off me pitch.
That's awful. That's awful.
Thank you, Constable Ed. As I was saying, is there a call for that? Zero call for it. Absolutely. Thank you, Constable Ed, for trying to keep, this game fair, fun, and honest. Because there's absolutely no call for that. Khemri team adjusting to the situation. And they're going to do what they can do best here. Bringing most of the team over. And they're going to at least try and make him work for it. And by work means, dear Nuffle, would you actually like to have something normal happen? Not just the continuing dicey fest. But after I tilt this far, well, let's see what actually happens. Like we said, one turn and something what looked like maybe a balanced game. It's anything but. Oh, look, it's only a stun. How remarkable. I'm just expressing the coach's frustration. Oh, look, it's still only a stun. Suck it long and suck it hard, Trebek. Solid it. Oh, God, that was the worst thing he actually wanted. Absolutely worst thing. Sigh.
I have you now.
But, as you can see there on the double roll, both badly hurts. And according to the regeneration count on the counter, yes, that's right. That's absolutely right. You are now seeing he is now 3 for 7. And there you go. Easy score. And it looks like it's now all 1-0.
Game over.
Well, can they do anything about this one? That is a major question. Look, good for you. The KO's come back. Let's turn this one around here. So, Chorfs down one player, rightfully ejected for that sickening show of lack of, respect. And, of course, Constable Ed has made sure to correct him for the area ways. I understand the circumcision will be done without anesthetic. Meanwhile, Khemri, is it completely out of... Well, okay, this is where it gets interesting. Khemri, of course, having 3 of the Tomb Guardians left. They can actually get the ball. Could they do something? Well, let's find out. Because remember, it's not over till that fat Aveling dies. Well, I will give credit where credit's due. It is a fantastic kick. That's just going to make things even more difficult. Meanwhile, Khemri swinging away, still have 1 reroll in reserve, but they'd actually like to see some results. Some useful results. These are not useful results, it's push me, push you. Knocking a dwarf down, well, better still, even hurting the bloody thing would be all the better. And now you see what they're going to have to get up to here. It's desperation plays. Well, if only bring him down. It's only a stun. Which, of course, is not what he wants. But he does indeed have the ball. He's going to stay down the end and wait until at least something useful happens. Because admittedly, he's got 4 turns. And that's the sad state of affairs. He's got to wait for something useful to happen. Meanwhile, up front, all that guard, all that hitting, and of course, all that KOing, which makes for a change.
But the agony of my soul found vent in one long, loud, and final scream of despair.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but, well, I can understand the frustration, quite frankly. The coach is already muttering things and waving at Constable N here. Something about, applying a, vasectomy, directly to the opposing coach. What I said, there's no bitterness felt between these coaches. They just hate each other. Why waste time on bitterness? And now you can see... quite rightfully, down he goes. Let's try that again, Sunshine. And the crowd goes absolutely wild. But he's not an elf, so falling on grass does not hurt the poor chap. Well, and you want me to sum it up? There's your chance, lad. No, really, that's your chance. It's time to get the ball and see if you can score and tie this one up. That's the only chance you're going to get. And now you're seeing how he truly feels about it. Yeah, it's push me, push you. Would you like to do something else? And, well, you can see here, that is what he's going to do. And, of course, that fails because, of course, it fails. And then, unfortunately, he scores himself out of that drive. This is when you start seeing rage take over a perfectly good coach. Do you blame him at this point here? Because it really has become, Nuffle's own game, not the game we expected to see. Push me, push you. And it continues with push me, push you. Would you like to make it 3 for 3? No, sorry, you don't have another one in you. Sigh. He's just refusing to die, isn't he?
But I refuse to die.
That's good to know, but unfortunately it is another KO, and it's removal of another player off the pitch. And the pain's just not over yet, is it? There's one more up the top. Oh, look, failed to break armor. How bloody novel. And here we go. Big blitz on the ball carrier. Does get him. And the injury, it's this time, it's just a stun. Well, what do you know? You actually failed to pick up the ball. This, unfortunately, as someone pointed out, is the array in this game trying to make it look like it was a fair and balanced game, which anyone who's watched this cast can see, no, not really. It's been completely tilted. Now, finally, you're trying to tilt it back to make it look fair and balanced. No, it's not. Damage is done. Twats. See, there you go. Now, suddenly that works. And I'll give full credit, it almost got there. You need a 6 to be accurate, he'll take it, and it's down the field. Just wishes he had a couple of players on the field, you know? Just saying. No, I'm not blaming the coach for that one. How can you blame him? It's not to blame someone for luck, is it? Right. Chorfs. Well, this has now become almost routine. They do have some Garrison on the ball here. Does manage to pick up the ball, and as you can see, he's chuffing back down the field once again. Now, the Khemri are going to have to stop this one up, and then try and figure out some way to go get the ball. And now they've got to admit they've got to be kicking themselves over all that effort for fouling, which of course didn't work, and not taking the opportunity to get down the field. How goody, you can fail something. Well, it's probably all the blood, dust, and everything else on the field, isn't it? Do you blame the poor lad? This is why cleats usually have solid iron spikes. They're not just for fouling, lads. It's called grip. Well, it's a stun. You'll take it.
Gotcha.
Now, actually, no, he won't take that one. He's pretty bitter about that. Oh, lords. And he leads straight into a skull. Because why would that work? Yeah, well, then again, it is a large player. And the pain continues, but you know what? Again, like I said, this is the array trying to claim it's balanced. You know, now it's actually finally starting to make things normal again. Even maybe a bit below average, but, well, we'll actually see. There we go. Quick handoff doesn't actually work. Nope. Of course not. Like I said, the array's trying to make it, give the illusion at the end that this was a balanced game, when we all know what's been going on. And that's got to just add to the Khemri's frustration. It's just been drifting, dangling there. Crazy play. Crazy is in charge of the bus here. He's hoping to see something happen. Will anything happen? Solid hit on the dwarf. Down he goes. Nope, nothing. How about over there? Push me, push you. Well, not that does him any good, and he can see they finally just cut away at this point here because they go, no, it's done. The whole mess is done. They sell it out. 1-0 is your score. It is the Chorfs go marching on. Looks like easy qualification time over here in the division. Not dead just yet. That's a brutal, brutal day. But this coach is resilient, just ask my sister, and of course the team itself has been around for decades, let alone aeons. We'll see how he does next time. Hopefully in the final 16, it's a much better result. Nuffle, bless you, die.